I want to know about the six steps to living your dreams. What is it?
Yeah, so first there's a prerequisite, and the prerequisite is to accept where you are and just to like love and accept yourself where you are right now. Because if we try to change from a place of like fighting where we're at and like, oh, there's something wrong with me that I haven't accomplished it yet, and like I just have to like get to it, then I feel it's almost like you're fighting the reality and you haven't let yourself fully land. And so there's just some magic that happens when you just like land on the ground, and then like you can spring up from there.
Good. So I like this. So if I'm going to live my dreams, my starting point is accepting where I'm at now. Being being real and accepting really the reality of what my life or situation's like now. Is that what you're saying?
Hmm. Yeah, like not beating yourself up about it or not comparing yourself to other people or like wishing it was different or like I just have to like get to that future point and then I'll be happy and okay with myself, but just like okay, this is the first step in the road and we can totally honor that.
I love that. Cool. That's the prerequisite. And then there's six steps.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Okay. So the first step is to let yourself want what you want. And it's, it sounds really simple, but it can be like a big thing for some people to actually allow themselves to go for their dream, like, and to not, get their energy sucked away by stories of like, well, it's too late for that now, or that's not realistic. So just like letting yourself fully want what you want.
Sure. Yeah. I was trying to even think like if someone judges them or says that's crazy or that'll never happen or whatever it might be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like your heart has this desire for some good reason, you know? It's like this is your inner wisdom communicating to you through that desire. So we really do ourselves a favor when we honor that.
I love that. That's great. So if I honor that and I really allow myself to want what I really want, what would the second step of the six step journey of living my dreams, or what is it? Doing my dreams?
Yeah, living your dreams, yeah.
Sure.
Um, then the next step is to commit 100% to what you want. So, like, going for it fully, and there's this saying that, like, 99% is a bitch and 100% is a breeze. So when one little part of ourselves is fighting against the rest of ourselves, it can just be really hard to move forward. So just like, okay, this is my dream, maybe a crazy dream, but if I'm all in, then it just like it ends up working out, or like maybe that dream will take you to the next thing that you're meant to be doing. But that's where movement happens, is when you're all in.
I love that. Good. Can you take us
Okay.
to the third step? I'm like dying to know what it is.
Okay. So the next one is to take 100% responsibility for what you're creating. So without like blaming yourself, this is just like empowered responsibility. Like take all of your power back from wherever it's been, any kind of stories of like, well, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough. Just like take 100% responsibility for just like birthing this idea into the world.
Yeah, okay. So what if there's like a circumstance or something in my life that it's not my fault or it's not is that separate or are you saying take responsibility for everything or take responsibility for the idea, the wish and that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like we're really well served when we do take responsibility for everything
Like
that is
everything,
manifesting
right?
in our lives. Yeah, yeah, but I think especially like if you're trying to make something happen and like running into some kind of snags or whatever, just like take full ownership instead of because you give your power away when you don't take full responsibility, and we create like more easily these awesome things that we want to create when we're in our full power. So you just like if you're up against some difficulty, then being like, okay, I'm the one in charge here. I'm the one who's birthing this new concept or this new idea or this yummy, delicious thing I want in my life. So what can I do? What can I tweak and change to keep it moving forward?
I love that. Yeah, I
Yes.
get it. I love it. I think that's great. And
Hmm.
that was step three, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And so the next step is to take new actions. And so this is kind of like, very, very similar, like steps 2, 3, 4, just kind of like slide into each other. But I think it's important to remember that, like, you got to do something totally different if you want to create and call in and manifest something totally different from what you have now. So, like Einstein's theory of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So just be ready to do things really differently and just like commit to whatever life changes or mindset changes need to happen.
Sure, it's kind of like allow yourself to experiment, try something new, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Like,
and knowing that that's part of the process. That if you're trying to create something that hasn't happened in the world yet or hasn't happened for you yet, then it's like you need to be a new being
ki-
to
yeah, yeah. It's almost like getting out of your comfort zone, getting out there. Like it's,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
that might be hard for people. Maybe I'm afraid to take a step in this direction I've never tried before. Maybe I'm not sure what'll happen if I do a certain thing. But exactly
Exactly.
what you're saying is well, if you just keep doing the same stuff, nothing's going to change. If you want the change, try something new.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. And you're bringing us directly into the fifth step. Like right after that is just to be compassionately curious about any resistance that comes up. Like if there's fear, just I like to think of just like holding the hand of my fear. Like if fear comes up, it's like, okay, there's that, young part of me that, got wounded in some way in the past. So let me just hold her hand through it. Not like, oh God, it's scary and I can't go forward, but like, okay, little one, take hold of your fear by the hand and just like bring it along um, and just be on the lookout for resistance because we can just get comfortable in a discomfort sometimes. Like we just get used to how things have been, and like these unconscious parts of ourselves that are just oriented towards survival. They're like, hey, I'm alive. That's good. It's all's good. I'm keeping you safe. Look at that, you're alive. And so they can kind of like start to like get a little rowdy when we start to go in the direction of something new and like new growth and expansion. And so like resistance shows up sometimes as just like tiredness or fear or just like lack of confidence or comparing yourself to other people or sometimes like getting sick, like right when you're about to launch something new and big and beautiful, like your body might shut down and
Right?
just
Or
these.
for me, I just lost motivation like 3 days ago. And I was like, what the heck happened? Like I was feeling good. And then for me, it was fear. And that's why I brought that up. It just kicked in. And
Yeah.
the thing I keep thinking is, oftentimes these things, whether it's any of these things you're talking about, it's sort of the way we experience it. It's as if it is who we are. Like I'm feeling afraid. I'm feeling whatever it is out of my comfort zone or unconfident. And when you talk about holding hands with that, it's a different sort of relationship. It's sort of an acknowledgement and recognition of it, or a resistance is another one, and kind of just a different relationship than when you just feel it and you feel that you are that, and it's
Mhm.
less control or less. I don't know. Is that
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, because it's like when we just let that fear voice take us over, then it's kind of just like living off of your life force and running your life for you. But you can get in touch with that big picture kind of consciousness that can have space for the part that's afraid, and then it can have space for the part that's also like hopeful and excited. And I like to say that it's actually a really good sign when you feel afraid. It's like a good sign that you're going in the right direction, because you're going in the direction of expansion and growth and new possibilities and just new things that haven't happened yet. And it's the unknown. And it's just beautiful to let yourself like go along for that ride. And it's just so human to be afraid of the unknown. Even if the unknown is going to be awesome, it's just so human to have that fear of like, wait, but we're changing what we know, and like we're really comfortable right here.
Right, exactly, because it doesn't feel very good when we feel it. It feels, oh my God, like stop or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
cool. But tell. I'm dying to know what the sixth. Is this the last step of
Yeah, six
living
one
our
is the
dreams?
last. Actually, and he just reminded me of like one more thing. Like this is like a little tip for what to do if the fear comes up. And this is from Fritz Perls, who's this like old Gestalt therapist, who said that fear is just excitement without the breath.
Ooh.
So yeah, so just like breathe into it. It's like, okay, I'm alive. There's a part of me that's feeling stretched, but just like breathe some space into that, and I think it becomes easier to move through it.
Yeah, I like that because when I'm afraid, I'm holding my breath, or I'm breathing shallowly, or I'm a little tighter, a little. I don't know if that's what you're saying, but that's what resonated with me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and the last step, and sometimes people don't even realize that this is important, but I think it really is, because so the last step is like when you've accomplished that like next level that you've been working so hard for. Sometimes when it's so new, it can be a little hard to own it. Like we can, and I see this come up all the time for people. It's really interesting, and it totally came up for me when I was just like doing this work in my own life, just like really like stretching for just like living the most fulfilled life I could. Just like a little bit of like worry that this could be taken away, or like, is this just a fluke? Like, I'm probably gonna have to go back to struggling in a few months, right? Because this can't like really be for real. And so to like really let it land and integrate, let yourself know that you created the change that's here, and it's not going to be taken away from you. And just to really own your own power as a creative being, that like just to like remind yourself like, okay, I created this. I can create more things. This is part of my reality now.
Yeah, what keeps coming to my mind, because this has happened to me, is I feel like I don't deserve it. Like I
Mm.
could have wished for and wanted the most amazing thing, and then it comes, and then I feel like, wait a second, all this money is for me, or this wonderful human being wants to hang out with me, or whatever it is, and it's such a radical shift when I'm so used to a pattern or a past where I didn't have that in my life.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And so that's like kind of like those like last dredges of that resistance of that old identity and that old self. Just like, whoa, this feels different. Can we allow this into the system? Because yeah, so just like, just working with it is just like the last little bits of resistance, and just like breathing in the goodness, and being grateful, and like writing down what you're grateful for, writing down what you appreciate about yourself, just to kind of like bring those ideas into your consciousness.
That's phenomenal. So can you just do a quick recap of all six steps just so it's kind of all hammered out like right in a line?
Hmm. Okay, so first is the prerequisite of just accepting where you're at without judgment. Then step one is let yourself want what you want. Step two is to commit 100% to what you want. Step three is to take 100% responsibility for what you are creating. And step 4 is to like be prepared to make new actions and to just behave differently. Step 5 is to be compassionately curious about the resistance that will come up and find a way to dance with your resistance in a friendly way. And step 6 is to really integrate and own and embody what you created.
Yeah, that's perfect. I love how you just delivered that. And I'm just responding what came to my mind as you were saying all this is every step, what kind of is a common is it's all about making this change, right? It's sort of like you went the other way. You started with the change, and now we're talking about expanding into the 6 steps of how you make that change. And there's all these little parts of the process that it's easy to get caught in because we're so habitual and we're
Yeah.
so used to what we've just been doing the last 10 years or whatever that
Yeah.
making this change there's several components of doing it.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. And so I think it's helpful to just like have a little roadmap for what you can expect along the way, and just knowing that like we're always changing and evolving, and like even like all of our cells and all the molecules in our body like get switched out. I think it's like in 7 years or something like that. And so, but yet we feel like the same person, but we're so much more fluid than we imagine ourselves to be.
Yeah, and so in terms of living your dreams, what would you say to anyone who's watching this video? What would you say to them? What do most people believe or not believe or think, or what's something you can
Uh,
say that is going to empower us?
yeah, I think that listening to your heart and following your dreams is the kindest thing that you can do for the planet, and just the most meaningful thing that you can do. Because I think a lot of people sometimes have like a thing about like, am I being selfish if I let myself want this? And so I love that quote by Howard Thurman. It's like don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive, because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And I just think that's so true. Like we all want to live on a planet where everyone is just radiating their heart and their light and doing what makes them feel most alive, and like that's going to be the best for everybody.
And for anyone who's, let's say, doubting or afraid or unsure or, I don't know, any emotions that will come up or things that will come up to stop them or keep them stuck from living their dreams, what would you say to them?
um, that you are a precious human soul, and it's your birthright. You have the same right as any other being on this planet right now to listen to your heart and follow your dreams.
And when they hear that resistance that says, you say that, and then they say that to them, I say that to myself, okay, I have the birthright and I have the right, I should live my dream tonight. And then the voice in my head comes up and says, that's not true, or, you have to go to this job that you don't love, or whatever that might be. Like, how do I deal with that?
Hmm. Yeah. So I think like loving and honoring the resistance, like it's just trying to keep you safe. It's like, well, I can't focus on living my dreams because I just have to survive. And what I've been told is that we just have to work hard and suffer, and life is hard, and we just have to kind of like make it through and survive. And so I think like this is a deep, deep imprint on the collective psyche of humanity, because we have been struggling, for so many years, and like our ancestors, and for thousands of years, it's just been like a fight to survive. And even like, things that we have today, like modern plumbing, that hasn't even been around that long. And so it's like, so there's this really powerful idea, kind of like a powerful meme still in the psyche and the human unconscious of like, well, life is hard and life is a struggle. So really, I think just like aligning with the idea of evolution, like speaking kindly to that part of yourself that's still kind of like aligned with like, well, life is a struggle and I'm trying to keep you safe and alive. And this is what I learned, that it's hard. So you just have to like work hard and just power through it. It's kind of just, I don't know, beaming some love to that part, saying like, thank you so much for trying to keep me safe. So when we think the resistance and it feels like it's seen, it starts to like loosen up. It's like, okay, okay, you hear me. Okay, this is good. And you can kind of like dialogue with it and sort of like be friends with it and like, okay, part that's trying to keep me safe. I'm just letting you know that the world is different and I actually really am safe and it's okay. Like I have everything I need. I have more than I need. I can start expanding and growing.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love the way you put that. Yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking and just taking it all in. So, thank you so much, Anya.
Yeah. Yeah. Great talking to you.